What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Bunker Office Hours, a weekly live show brought to you by the team at Bunker Labs, a national network of veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs dedicated to helping the military-connected community start their own businesses. I'm your host, Iron Mike Stedman, joined by Carrie and Dan. What's going on, Carrie and Dan?
What's up, Mike? Carrie, good to see you.
Good to see y'all. Yeah. Welcome back, Mike. You've been gone for a little while.
I know. I've been on the road. I spent 2 weeks in Grenada with the girlfriend, my first vacation as an entrepreneur since going full time back in 2018. And then had another week at Stanford, part of the Hoover Veteran Fellowship. So super blessed. But I left my laptop on an airplane coming back. My airplane got in at like 1 o'clock in the morning, left my laptop. So I'm hustling this morning. I got my iPhone up. I got my desktop, but we're going to make it work because the community is important, and we love jumping on here and engaging with you all. So before me and Dan jump into it, Carrie, let's go around the horn and talk about what's happening in the bunker the next few weeks.
Yeah. So our big kind of capstone event for veterans and residents is going to happen across 22 cities on December 8th, which is in a few weeks. And this will be 199 entrepreneurs, 22 cities, one night of networking. It's going to be a really amazing event. You can RSVP through Eventbrite going to bunkerlabs.org/communities. And whatever city you're close to, click into that city and you'll see the sign up form there. It's going to be an amazing night of meeting local entrepreneurs, small business owners, other veterans and military spouses. So highly encourage you all, if you are in an area that has one of these events, sign up and come. It's going to be really amazing. We also have the holiday gift guide. We kicked that off last week during the week of Veterans Day, and you can find over 50 veteran and military spouse-owned products on our website at bunkerlabs.org/marketplace. So 2 really exciting things happening kind of towards the end of the year. So go check them out.
Yeah, and that holiday gift guide is pretty awesome. This is our second time doing it. Last year was the first year, and we doubled it. So I think last year, Carrie, we had 25 businesses listed. This year we've got 50. So head over there and show them some love. And I know y'all are probably wondering, well, how do I get my business in the gift guide next year? So after we wrap up this holiday season, we'll put the information out about that. I think these gift guides are just a great opportunity to drive business development for our businesses in the community, get them that revenue and that cash flow that they need, while also showing off just the amazing entrepreneurs that we have within the ecosystem. So without further ado, we got my man, the myth, and the legend, Dan, joining us today. Dan, do me a favor, go ahead and introduce yourself to the Office Hours community.
What's up, Mike? Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone that's out there. My name's Dan Biga. I work for Bunker Labs. I lead up the ambassador program, which we're about to launch today here in Chicago. Our ambassadors are the people that operate in communities across the country, supporting entrepreneurs as they grow their businesses.
So when I joined the Bunker Lab ecosystem, I was brought on as a community manager for the veterans and residents. And then I transitioned into city leader. I don't actually remember what role I had within the city leaders. Yeah. And now we find ourselves in this ambassador program. So obviously the pandemic forced a lot of change within our community. Talk to us about what the ambassador program is, why we transitioned to this from the city leaders, and how we're hoping to use this to impact our reach with veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs.
That's a great question, Mike. And I was a city leader as well. So I was one of those volunteers on the ground working with entrepreneurs in our programs in Washington, D.C. The city leader model was great. It met the need for that time in Bunker Labs' growth. I think as we navigated the pandemic, we found that the community does best when we bring people together that are trying to achieve similar outcomes. So with our volunteers are usually entrepreneurs, or they're entrepreneurial. They're trying to take themselves professionally and personally to the next level, but they're also servant leaders, and they want to support entrepreneurs in their communities. And we realized that it was not success. The maximum success was not going to be achieved by a volunteer in each community calling me or calling Valerie or calling X or calling Steve or calling Rosie point to point. But instead, if we can bring these volunteers, these servant leaders together into a cohort type experience, we'll be able to spread the knowledge across the country in a quicker, more efficient, more effective way. So as we get ready to launch this ambassador program, I'd say the biggest difference that people should know is that we bring all of our volunteers in together at once. We onboard them together. They go through a program together, and then they conclude the experience together, and then decide how they want to remain engaged with the Bunker Labs community.
Yeah, I think it's important too to recognize that, at Bunker Labs, right, we are not, how do I say, we don't hide from feedback, right? We're engaging, we're listening. And I will tell you, as a city leader, I got burned out. I was a city leader, I was hooking and jabbing in New York City, literally and figuratively. But once I left to transition into pursuing ironbound boxing full time, the burden of being a city leader was just overwhelming. And, we're getting feedback from all across the community, just how much work and effort it was taken to be a city leader. And so as an organization, we listened, right, and adjusted. And when the pandemic hit, it was really just an accelerant and an opportunity for us to just, really lean into a cohort program where we're building out community, as well as, really elevating these ambassadors, because I think they embody, the tradition and the spirit of service above self.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is that, if you've ever attended a Bunker Labs event in your community, the people that are there making that event happen are volunteers. So it's my job, it's the team's job to make sure that we're supporting those volunteers in the best way possible. And this program is going to help us do that.
So what exactly do ambassadors do?
Yeah, so ambassadors have two primary responsibilities. So they're either a facilitator, which means they facilitate our programs locally. They bring communities together and they help that community navigate different challenges for entrepreneurs. And then we also have what we call connectors. So the connectors are the people that make sure that the entrepreneurs in their community are connected to the right people at the right time for their business to thrive. So for some people, you're doing market research. You just want an idea. You just have an idea. You're not really sure if it's something worthwhile. We can connect people with individuals that can help them navigate whether or not that's a good idea. If you're looking to raise money, we can help people get connected to VCs, for example. And it's through the power of the community that we're building that we're able to make these connections so seamlessly.
Can you talk to us about some of the ambassadors we have currently carrying the Bunker Labs flags out in their communities and building out these networks?
Yeah, I'd love to give a quick shout out to Aida Johnson-Rapp. She is an ambassador here in Chicago. We're actually, as part of this ambassador launch, we're doing a VIR showcase training tomorrow night. And Aida has really kind of led the Chicago team along with Patrick and Brian to bring in a couple of our actual VIR participants to give the ambassadors that are going to be here today a true realistic training scenario, so that when we have these showcases on December 8th across the country, our team knows exactly what's going on.
Michael Gilmerton just commented, he says he likes the idea of ambassadors as connectors. It reminds him of Malcolm Gladwell's books of Ravens and Connectors. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing, the only way this whole community works is I call it having Overwatch, so that way as you come across people and opportunities for community members, whether that's, hey, like you said, a veteran-owned startup that's looking to raise some capital, and then you come across a capital raising opportunity, bam, you send them that email, or even just seeing events that are happening on LinkedIn, tagging people. So it sounds like you really, with regards to the kind of personalities of the ambassadors, these really are social people, not necessarily introverts, that can really get out there and be the eyes and ears for the community about the opportunities that are taking place.
Yeah, I tend to think that our ambassadors come in all different personality types. I mean, I'm an introvert, so I'm one of those people that needs my alone time. but I absolutely love helping this community grow. I love connecting people. I do get energized by being around the community. But maybe at the time when I first came on to as a city leader, I was actually working at Deloitte. So I was kind of just like trying to get my footing underneath me. And, it was really the experience. One of Bunker Lab's experience as a city leader was really one of those foundational experiences in my post-military journey that kind of set me towards the path of entrepreneurship. And once I got plugged in, I really haven't turned back.
You know what? We should talk about that for a minute. Obviously, I'm a podcaster, right? I create content. And, while everybody thinks that you got to monetize everything, there's a lot of other things that come out of being a podcaster other than just monetary, right? Better public speaking, opportunity to meet and connect with other people, all these kind of things. When I think about my time as a Bunker Lab city leader, yeah, it was a lot of work. And yeah, I was volunteering, et cetera. But I built out so many amazing relationships that really gave me the confidence to kind of step out into my entrepreneurial, life per se. And when I think about the ambassador opportunity, right, I see that as another opportunity for people to kind of get introduced into, really what it means to be a part of an entrepreneurial ecosystem and a lot of the intangible, opportunities that are going to result from that. Do you mind sharing some insight into what kind of opportunities you see benefiting the ambassadors?
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned the first one. I mean, even I see Donnell Johns on here. I mean, I met Donnell when I was in DC as a city leader, and that's how he knows me. So there are opportunities to just expand your network, grow your network in a service oriented way. I found, as an introvert, really, really helpful for me. Networking was not something that I was a natural at, especially getting out of the Marine Corps. But Bunker Labs, because of the community that we have, because we love building this community and the people we're building it with, we have the opportunity to bring people together and really just form authentic relationships that will help us navigate, the second, third, fourth transition that undoubtedly happens after service. I think, another benefit to being plugged in with the Bunker community was, getting to hear from the board. Members of the board are really phenomenal leaders, entrepreneurial, in the business sector, in the government sector. I mean, it's tremendous to have access to individuals with their credentials and experience. So really, like, I would say, if I had to really knock down, pick one thing, it's the network. The network is significant. I know that's kind of a cliche thing to say, but it's so true. I mean, really what matters most as we navigate our entrepreneurial endeavors is the people that you surround yourself with. And if you can surround yourself with people that you genuinely care about and want to succeed, you're going to do some awesome things.
Man, absolutely. I love hanging out with military entrepreneurs and military spouses. It's just, it really is the network. And, as much as we kind of stress that, what it comes down to is people helping people. And you increase your opportunities for serendipitous moments by being in a network where everyone is looking out for each other. I've experienced it within both my ventures. I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for, this military connected community. So, you're preaching to the choir here. Now, yeah. For those that are tuning in and are interested in getting involved and being an ambassador, what does that process look like? I mean, how selective is it? Talk to us about, how they can get involved.
Good question. So for this first cohort, we're calling it the beta cohort. It's going to run from November to June of next year. This is like the analogy that I use is like we're building an elephant. This summer we got to kind of like put the skeleton of the elephant together. When we launch this thing later this afternoon and tomorrow, we're gonna like be putting a little bit more meat on this elephant. So we're just getting started off. All that to say, applications are going to be released in spring of next year. And the next full cohort will launch in June 2022 and it'll run to June of 2023. So as you look at if you want to get involved with an ambassador, or as an ambassador, the first thing I would say is like get plugged into the community first, start meeting people. And then when those applications get released in the spring of next year, submit an application we'll be looking at those and then get ready to launch the next cohort in June of 2022.
Yeah. I want to shout out Josh Weldon on here, man. Josh is commenting. He's letting us know that he promotes Bunker Labs to every soldier he comes across that's interested in entrepreneurship at the Soldier Recovery Unit, as well as he just tagged Emerging Vets and Player. And Josh, man, we appreciate you. That's what it's all about. And we're getting a lot of engagement on LinkedIn today, Dan. I don't know,
What's
man.
up?
You must be you must be popular. So as we, I want to go ahead and prepare us to transition to book recommendations. But before we do that, any closing remarks you'd like to say about the ambassador program, Dan?
I'm so excited to be able to welcome ambassadors to Chicago this evening. It's going to be an awesome event. It's going to be a safe event. It's going to be insightful, rewarding. I'm just so pumped. So my recommendation to people is tune into LinkedIn following the launch, and hopefully you see some pretty cool pictures of the community together, figuring out how to best support our community.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. All right, y'all, as we transition to book recommendations, we got a lot of people online today. Let us know what questions you have regarding either the ambassador program or something within your own entrepreneurial journey. We'll do our best. We got 2 jarheads here, so maybe we can think through something. But feel free to ask any questions you have regarding your own venture or the ambassador program as we transition to book recommendations. And shout out to Steven Stewart. He says, my business is what it is greatly because of the people I know and their knowledge. Veteran networks help ensure an instant connection. That veteran and military styles connection, that military connected connection is a tactical advantage. So Dan, what book recommendation do you have?
So for this event or this office hours, I think I'm gonna make a recommendation for Admiral McRaven's Hero Code. The reason why I'm going to make this recommendation is because I think it's first off, it's a pretty easy and quick read. Second off, it's I think as we kind of, all of us have come out of the pandemic, many of us, if not all of us, I don't want to speak for all of us, but many of us have thought, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I living my best life? And I think what Hero Code does a fantastic job of doing is telling individual stories of how people make the most impact that they can in their given situation. So that's how I'm trying to live. I'm trying to do the best I can in service to others, and we'll see what happens. And I think that's just such a comforting message, especially coming off a difficult year when you want to do well. You want to do well, and you're not really sure, especially after a tough year, if you're doing everything right. But I think the point is you're doing it right. If you can look yourself in the mirror and say you're doing it right, you're giving it your best, then maybe one day you'll be in Hero Code too.
My man Matthew C says his battle buddy Scott from Pittsburgh is in your beta cohort for the ambassador program, so make sure you take good care of him. But
I will. I talked to George last week, and I'm super pumped to meet him. Hopefully later this evening.
And that's a great book recommendation. And you're right, man. I'm guilty of it, right? Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I'm not, where I want to be. But we're all doing the best we can with what we have.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta pat yourself on the back. And I forgot where I read it, but if we have a friend who's down and out, right? We give him words of encouragement. We talk him up. But for some reason, when we're down and out, we start talking negatively about ourselves.
Totally. You got to be your own best friend sometimes,
Yeah. All right. So my book recommendation this week is Quit Repeating Yourself: How Today's Leaders Are Using Systems and Processes to Grow Their Businesses the Right Way. And this is actually, this book is actually featured in our holiday gift guide, and it's by none other than Jamie J, a legendary entrepreneur, Army veteran, and just great guy all around, man. I had a chance to meet Jamie through a mutual connection of ours, Christopher Lockhead, and he pulled me under his wing, was mentoring me, as well as, James Van Pruyen as well made that introduction. And we were actually able to pull Jamie into our CEO cohort for podcasters. And this is just a great read. And here's what led me to grab this book and start picking it up again. Jamie mailed it to me, and I set it on my bookshelf, and I meant to get back to it. But like I told you all at the beginning of this office hours, I've been on the road like the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks in Grenada, a week at the Hoover Institute, and I dropped the ball on some things. And so I'm like, how do I increase my capacity building? I got to learn how to start delegating and being a better entrepreneur. And so we just hired on some people on my team at Ironbound Media, and I got a lot of moving things going on at Ironbound Boxing. So I need to learn how to build systems and processes, right? So that I can move more efficiently. I'm not trying to do world domination in my ventures like Dan Biga, but I'm definitely trying to get more systemized. And so I'm checking out this. And one of the nice things about this book, Jamie actually gets super personal. He talks about his issues being a homeless veteran, early on, how he was able to overcome that, bounce back, and build a 7-figure business. I mean, this is just a testament of what it means to be a military-connected entrepreneur. So check out this book, especially those of you all trying to get out of the hustle, and let us know what you think. And get out there and support those other entrepreneurs in the holiday gift guide. We got some more book recommendations coming in. Marty says Quench Your Thirst by Jim Koch, and Sam Adams is a must-read entrepreneurs. He got it thanks from Mark L. Rockefeller. And then The Subtle Art of Not Giving by Mark Manson is his recommendation to keep you grounded. Any other books, Dan, you can think of off the top of your head?
Oh gosh, I mean, if you like the dorky side of me is like, there's a book called The Politics Industry that I really like, but if you're interested in politics, check that out. If you're not, I mean, maybe if you're interested in the way politics works, check that book out.
And you know what? This isn't a book, but I've been reading a lot of newsletters. And in particular, there's one newsletter I read religiously every weekend, and it's Category Pirates. That's by Christopher Lochhead, shameless plug, he's my mentor, as well as Eddie Yoon and Nicholas Cole, who I took his writing course. Great newsletter, particularly around those of you struggling with marketing and branding and some category design in there. Check that newsletter out. You won't go wrong with it. And it is a paid newsletter. There are some free subscriptions on there. There are some free posts on there, but go ahead and check that out. All right, so as we wrap up this office hour session, Dan, I just want to thank you for joining us. Again, you're a popular man. I feel like LinkedIn was booming this morning. People give you all kind of love, but keep carrying that
you're
flag.
back, Mike.
Leading.
You're back.
You said it's because I'm back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But keep doing what you're doing with the ambassador program. It's super important. And we look forward to seeing the growth of the program and all the amazing stuff that you're doing with that. For everyone tuning in, make sure you subscribe to the Transition Podcast and newsletter on Substack. I just dropped a podcast episode last week on the fastest way to achieve profitability if you're a bootstrapped entrepreneur. Not all of us are venture-backed startup. Some of us got to dig into that savings, crack open that penny bank. And what made me want to release that episode was I had an opportunity to go to a pop-up market in New York City with my girlfriend. And I saw all these different vendors, Dan, and they got all their different products and services. I mean, all their different products spread out on the table. And the entrepreneur in me is like, if this was me, I would probably just sell my most expensive product, right?
Yeah.
And just do that.
Yeah.
I'd probably write my perfect customer on a chalkboard and say, I sell to XXX. And I think this is important because a lot of us have aspirations of working on our ventures full time, but it's so hard to do that when you're spraying all over the place. So I'm a big proponent of one product, one target market, one main distribution channel, at least to get us to that predictable revenue month over month. So check out that podcast episode, like it, subscribe, share it with others, and let's continue to create these platforms and create these assets to share with our community so that they don't have to make the mistakes we did, Dan.
Yeah. Mike, thanks for everything you do with Office Hours, the Transition Podcast. It's so awesome for the bunker community. Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. And I got to show some love to our to our sponsors that make these virtual events possible, which include the MetLife Foundation and the Gannett Foundation. The MetLife Foundation is committed to supporting veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs. In addition, the foundation provides mentorship and financial health resources to veterans and military spouses transitioning into the workforce. A Community Thrives is a program funded by the Gannett Foundation and is part of the USA Today network, which invests in community building initiatives across the country with the goal of creating positive change through service to historically marginalized or under-resourced groups. Special shout out to the MetLife Foundation and the Gannett Foundation. For all y'all tuning in, make sure you head over to bunkerlabs.org, sign up for the newsletter, get connected with all the amazing programming we got out there, and keep being awesome in your ventures. Until next week, peace, love, and have a great rest of your week.
See everyone.